Hope you guys can hear me good. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am Adina. You guys are now beyond the veil. I'm going to wait for you guys to arrive. Hey, Tiara. Happy Wednesday. I actually need to go and get myself a drinky drink. I forgot my drinky drink. How are you this Wednesday, my love? Hey, JD. Sorry, you guys, I had to interrupt myself so that I can pour myself a libation. You've been waiting. Yes. How are you guys doing this Wednesday? Just give me a second. Trying to open this bottle. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Happy Wednesday. I'm sorry I'm pouring a libation, and then we can get started. Is it beautiful in Chicago? That's good. It's beautiful in Florida as well. The spring has definitely arrived. All right, all right, all right. Hey, Agar. Okay, all right. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm so sorry that I don't have my life together. But I'm getting it together. Okay? It's getting together. It's together now. All right. Hello, everyone. Hey, Carol. Hi, Kane. Hey, Russell. Happy Wednesday to everyone. You guys are beyond the veil. I am Adina. Happy Wednesday to everybody. God bless all of you. All right. So, as I mentioned, we got a lot. It's 76 degrees for you. Where are you, Agar? It seems like it's going to be a very, very lovely spring this year. It's coming in warm, well, hot, fresh, ready, like a Little Caesar's pizza. Hot and ready. Shout out to you in Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee. I love it there. I love it there. I love the mountains. Hi, Chiller. Blessings to you, Russell. God bless you. All right. So, this Wednesday, the energy of the divine feminine is upon me. I have been reading a certain book, and in my meditation on the material and things like that, and you know, basking in the ambience of spring, I've noticed that the divine feminine is outside for the good and for the bad. For instance, life and death are, I believe, feminine. I've had a dream before where a voice in a black foggy mist spoke to me, and it identified itself as death. And it explained to me how it works and how humans go through the process of trying to evade death, even though it's inevitable. Anyways, life is given through a woman, and I believe it's collected by a feminine energy, and I believe it's collected by a feminine energy, which is why this spring we see a lot of significant passings and things like that, especially amongst males. And we also see women become more prominent, both for the good and the bad. Now, I won't get into too much philosophy behind that. But what I will say is that as the divine feminine reinstates herself as the power that it is, we will see also an uprising chaos, because women in an unbalanced state are chaos. And I've seen a lot of good come from the divine feminine this spring. I've seen a lot of unfortunate circumstances come from the divine feminine this spring. And I just wanted to talk about it. So, first off is Caroline Miller. She is a woman from Georgia. She is a Caucasian woman, and she is from Georgia. And according to what I've seen on blogs and news sites, she was shopping in a Walmart with her children. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is from the Daily Mail. Henry, you say I'm crazy, but you just left 3 comments back to back professing your love for me almost. A Georgia father accused of trying to abduct a toddler in the aisles of Walmart is speaking out to clear his name. Mahendra Patel, 56, insists mother of two, Caroline Miller, 26, wrongfully accused him. On March 18th, Miller was riding in a motorized shopping cart with her 2-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter when Patel stopped to ask her where the Tylenol was. What happened next has sparked furious social media chatter and debate and landed Patel in jail. Miller, this 26-year-old Caucasian woman, claims Patel, a 56-year-old Indian male, I believe Indian, of some Indian descent. Hey, JD, God bless you. Oh, yes, Tina. Greetings to you, Henry from Zambia. Miller claims that Patel distracted her with the Tylenol question, then tried to lift her son, Jude, out of her lap. She claims a tug of war ensued and that she heroically stopped him from taking the little boy. He tells a completely different version of events. The motorized cart led him to believe the young mother was disabled. As she answered his question about the Tylenol, Patel, who has his own damn kids, says he noticed the boy losing his balance. He says he grabbed him to stop him from falling to the ground and was only trying to steady him. 5 minutes after the interaction, Miller informed a Walmart employee that Patel tried to snatch her son. It wasn't until later that she called the police. 3 days later, he was arrested and thrown in the county jail, where he has since been hit with threats. I believe this man is still in county jail. Now, the crazy part is that they pulled their surveillance cameras from Walmart. Walmart footage reviewed by DailyMail.com appears to contradict Miller's version of events. While Miller describes a tug of war between she and Patel, videos from different angles show no such confrontation. Hey RB, and God bless you for the blessing that you sent to me last week. If we have any Caucasian women here in the chat, I never see that I do. I never know if you guys are or not. But if you are, when I'm finished with this, I'm going to need your input or your feedback. The videos show Patel and Miller interacting 3 times. After Patel walks into the Walmart, he approaches Miller to ask for help in location to the Tylenol. That vanilla meat is undeniable. After Patel walks into the Walmart, he approaches Miller to ask for help locating the Tylenol. And that's the detail that both Miller and the merchant agree on. Moments later, Miller and Patel cross paths again. This is when Miller claims he grabbed her son and wouldn't let go, leading to a struggle. But the video fails to show any struggle. Patel is only briefly leaning towards Miller, who is not disabled but was driving the motorized cart with both of her children precariously on it. The video then shows Patel stepping back from the scooter as Miller points once again toward a location in the distance. Miller, the woman, is then seen smiling as she chats with a man in an orange shirt before she backs into a product display. The other man, not the man that she put in jail, the other man then is seen helping her with her children and the items on the mobility scooter. She and Patel cross paths a third time, and he appears to show her that he found the Tylenol. The footage also makes it clear that Patel did not flee the scene. Instead, he calmly paid for his medicine before leaving. Despite the video footage and his claims, the Acworth Police Department is standing by the arrest. This is why I am bringing this up today, because in the spirit of the white woman or the white women who lie, let's talk Emmett Till and all those who came before and after. This is why I needed white women to step on in here and give your perspective about why you guys do this. This is and I believe that they're standing by the arrest because they feel dumb. They arrested him before watching the video footage, just taking this. FD, you must be the white woman that I was talking about, or one of her forefathers. Anyways, I believe that they feel embarrassed by the fact that they arrested this man without viewing the evidence and just taking this woman on her word about trying to take her son. And they're standing by the arrest, hopefully to try to find some grounds to keep him in there so that they can cut. This is the case study, JD. It seems to have been edited. It's not the video we have. So they're saying that the store, the footage that we saw was edited. And the store did this, put themselves on the line to protect this man that they don't know. Acworth Police, you guys in here? I know y'all, sometimes some of y'all be lurking. Is you in here? Because we the people, have questions and concerns. The department declined to share their footage with the Daily Mail, though. Several inquiries to the Cobb County District Attorney's Office went unanswered, of course. I have no idea if they showed the video or not to the grand jury, but if you see the entire video, it's very clear what's happening. I mean, there's really no mistaking it, Patel's lawyer, Merchant, said. When asked why why Miller would make up such horrific claims against an innocent name, Patel's lawyer pointed out that Miller has previously been involved in litigation against companies. This lady is looking for a check, it seems. In 2021, she filed a lawsuit against Lyft saying she had been raped by a driver. The lawsuit is ongoing. All right. I want to call up Caroline Miller today in these cards. If she has a history with this, and this lady needs to be taken off of the streets because the men in the world are not safe. Where do you get this type of habit from? Where does that come from? Most High Mother and Father God, thank you for this Wednesday. Thank you for this gift. Thank you for YouTube for being an amazing platform and allowing me to share it. And thank you for everyone joining me. Spirit, I am interested in Caroline Miller in Georgia, who has accused a man with the last name of Patel, who has accused Mr. Patel of trying to kidnap her child, and footage shows that that did not happen. From the oracles, as an oracle, from the oracles, I would like a message about this woman, Caroline Miller. She made an accusation. It seemed to not be true. First of all, oracles, you tell me, is her claim true? If so, please allow me to see it so that I can at least um, try to give her some sort of justice, at least on my platform. And if not, please show me the circumstances surrounding this woman making this claim, why she would do it. I would like to see it from an oracular, a divine perspective, an energetic perspective. Hi, little bro. Work through your fears. This is a Scorpio, new moon and Scorpio card in reverse. Scorpio tends to, at least in astrology, it tends to represent one's shadow side, or energetically, it can represent your shadow side. And so in reverse, it seems like this woman has some habits, some very bad habits that she has not seemed to work through. Since this is work through your fears, believe in the impossible. Be bold and make the first move. This tells me step out of your comfort zone. This tells me, first of all, believe in the impossible. Makes me feel like she believed that an impossible story would be believed, probably because she is white. And I'm only bringing up race in this regard because, for one, this behavior, in my opinion, is a known pattern amongst white women to make very egregious false accusations against men of color. I could say things about black women, but I'm not talking about them right now. I'll talk about Aisha Howard after this, before anyone believes I'm coming for the white delegation. Believe in the impossible, be bold, and make the first move. These are the two cards that are upright. But work through your fears, Scorpio. This tells me deep-rooted behaviors from some white women, especially some white women in the South, is being highlighted by this case. And I would venture to say racist white women and racist white men as well, especially in the South, and how they are still embedded in law enforcement and able to uphold systems that maintain injustices. Okay? I live in Florida. This took place in Georgia. We know about the historical. Adios, I see that you just sent me a request on Instagram, and I'm not sure if you are a troll or not. But my Instagram is private because I usually accept my clients on my Instagram. And so I'm not sure if you're a troll or not, but if you're not, say so. Anyways, this is roots. These are outdated, inhumane behaviors that are embedded and rooted in certain people, especially in the South. Not saying that it's not everywhere, but it shows itself in a more exposed way in the South, as it always has. The South was once a Confederate region, and I don't need to go into history, the Civil War, and all of that. How America, the United States, fought each other over who was the better slaver. The North felt like they were more humane because at least they paid low, unhumane wages, but they were paying and they weren't beating them. And the South felt like it doesn't matter. They are cattle. They are paid slaves. They're meant to do this. And look how much money we produce. We produce just as much as money with our slave labor as you do with your low wage slave labor. That was the civil war. You know what I'm saying? And so we're not talking about things that are just relegated to the South, even though it it's just more exposed and prevalent in the South. I am bringing this up because in the name of the ancestors, meaning every black and brown person, hey Q, every black and brown person that has faced some sort of systematic oppression or a system that just didn't benefit them the way it benefits everybody else. I would like us to start not repeating that, because right now in this era, it seems in the Make America Great Again era, we are getting back to those days. And sure, this is your country. You white people in power, you are going to fight and duke it out and fight amongst each other and fight everybody else, because that seems to be your nature. Peace doesn't seem to be your collective nature if you are in power. I'm wondering what about being peaceful makes you feel like you might lose some power. It's some sort of inherent energy, because since the beginning of mankind, black and brown people have existed, and there was peace. Even when there was infighting, civil wars, and such, there wasn't this spirit of world domination until you guys rose up on the scene and then took power. And yes, you have sustained it and maintained it for, a few, some years, some years in the grand scheme of things. But before that, especially when the world was matriarchal, there was more peace, Eric. Look at you. My problem is, my question is, if you have all of the power in the world, why do you still need to oppress and falsely accuse people and wield that power in such an unhumane way? It's fine if you have power. Why do you choose to wield it in the way that you do? The power should make you secure. White women, white women in the South especially, white women like Caroline Miller. Not speaking about all women, not speaking about all white women or all white people. White women like Caroline Miller. Why does your power and your place in society, why is that not enough? Spirit, I would like to know about Caroline Miller specifically. Let me just go ahead and pull her up before YouTube doesn't want me to be great because they feel like I'm disrespecting a certain race, and I'm not. But if we can talk about it, let's talk about it. I can talk about black people too, and I read on them all the time. But this is disgusting. It's always been disgusting, but this is a behavior. I told you guys about another book that I was reading by a woman, a white woman. I've just forgotten what it's called, but I think I posted an excerpt from it on my page. And this white woman wrote it during the civil rights era, and the book was taken down. They didn't want to allow it to be sold. She was blackballed by her own people for exposing the roots to their prejudice. And it was very eye opening. It helped me to understand, because I don't like to judge people. I like to understand. Even if I don't agree, I would rather understand why a person is the way they are. And this white woman exposed why they are the way they are. And this is why I'm speaking about white women like Caroline Miller in the South. These are a particular type of killers of the dream. That's it, Jess. Thank you. Killers of the dream. Please, 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 if you are black, if you are white, if you are anybody, please read it. If you would like to understand from a white woman's perspective who grew up owning slaves, her family owned slaves, her father, and then she later on, explained how they teach themselves to ignore their conscience. It's not that they don't have it when they do these things, but the tradition, at least these days now, it's more of a tradition. Of, it's like an ingrained into their biology now, but back then they had to override their conscience in order to uphold something that a lot of them didn't even believe in inherently, but they chose to believe in it. Now I just believe that now it's what people consider a generational curse. I believe that it's just a behavior that has been practiced for so long by a people group that it changes your DNA. It becomes a part of your DNA or your biological makeup after it's been practiced for so long, for so many of their generations. And so this is an isolated situation, but it's not. Very much Karen energy. And I would like to see it get up out of here. The Karen energy, you have to go. You have to go. The ancients are rising and they are cleaning house, which is why everything is being exposed in this great age of social media when we can really, really, really talk about it. And not just talk about it, but see the things that you guys would get away with if it weren't for the great age of social media and technology, the blessing and the curse. And now that we can see it, I'm not going to just sit by and just observe it and shake my head about it. I'm going to say, no more. I'm going to say to the energy behind that behavior. I'm not dealing with the people, to the energy. I agree. I don't think any side likes Karens. That's what Killers of the Dream was actually about. This white woman was exposing Karens um, in hopes to break the curse, break the tradition. I am a sexy pirate. Thank you. Um, so yes, the spirit, the energy behind Karen energy that leads back to that historic, prejudiced, elitist, racism behavior. No mas. No mas. All right. Caroline Miller, Most High, the woman who falsely accused Mr. Patel of trying to kidnap her son. Please allow me to conjure up her spirit, soul, and collective energy. Girl. Girl. All right. I this isn't black woman to white woman. This is woman to woman, divine energy, divine feminine energy to divine feminine energy. I'm speaking to you from an energetic perspective. Girl, bye. You tried it, you've been trying it. And I'm glad that it's getting exposed so that the whole system of prejudice can be exposed, because this police department is choosing to be silent and complicit in this lady's false accusations, and they are standing by their arrest, even so far as to implying that the footage that was released to us was edited. But they won't release the footage that they have. Carolyn Miller, come. I compel you to speak to me from your soul's truth, not your ego's truth, but your soul's truth, and keep absolutely nothing hidden from me. Compel her. Because if they want to arrest her for these false accusations in my courts, call the guards. Caroline Miller, Why did you accuse Mr. Patel of trying to kidnap your son? If he did, then please allow me to see it from your soul's truth. And if he did not, explain, please. Oh, look at it. Look what's on the bottom. The Emperor in reverse. This is this man, Mr. Patel. And this is the man, the system, the man protecting its woman by doubling down when knowing they were wrong. This isn't the man being righteous. This is the man doubling down when it's wrong. And that's why the police department isn't coming out here. This is the man, the system, being used against another man. A false accusation is in the challenging position. A false accusation, a sword in reverse, is in the challenging position. I see the racists are here. I even noticed that I don't usually have the usual view count that I do. So I'm pretty sure. And YouTube, I'm not trying to beef with you. I hope I'm not saying anything that goes against you guys' guidelines. This is a false accusation, and the man, at least the man, the system within this county in Georgia, is doubling down on being loud, proud, and wrong. Five of Pentacles in reverse. This looks like a woman and her children looking for money. Five of Pentacles in reverse. This woman and her son that she said was snatched. But then also, she also kind of backed into one of the displays in Walmart. This lady was looking for a coin. Just like this Daily Mail article says, in the past, she's had litigious encounters with companies. This lady was looking to get it one way or the other from this man, or from maybe an accident in the store. The Star. This case will continue to be talked about in the media. The Spirit said, let's talk about it. The spirits would like for this to be talked about in the media because it's an injustice, and it seems as though even the spirits have had enough. Digging up the roots of prejudice one by one. So woe to you all. Book a reparation consultation with me so I can tell you what's coming if you would like to know if you are prejudiced and benefiting from an injustice system. There is a message for you, but I'm not going to give it here to you for free. But it's on the tippy top of my tongue. Reparation consultation. And I will be more than happy to tell you so that you can try to escape. Because there is an energetic purge. As long as this man has not been apologized to, has not been released, has not received any sort of justice, I don't know if the police department will release their footage. I would like to see if they're going to try to doctor some footage. If they do, I'll come back and clarify this. But this isn't over. Wheel of Fortune in reverse crowning Miss Carolyn. I agree with the Daily Mail. This doesn't seem to be her first time doing this, attempting to rob various systems. Also, using the system to do so. And by the system, I mean her white power. A white woman, that's two platforms that she has to stand on to be somebody's victim. This is a Karen if I never seen a Karen before. And I believe some people have fallen prey to her shenanigans. Probably whoever has that unsettled case with her right now. Shenanigans. Companies love to settle. I worked in HR. I've advised businesses that I've worked for when they've come up on litigious situations, even if it was ridiculous, it might cost more to try to fight it in court. So just settle. Sometimes people walk away with 20 grand because that's more money than they ever had before. I worked for a company, and this woman, this Chinese woman, this was a company full of minorities, by the way. This Chinese woman was walking into the break room, and she was behind this Jamaican man who was already in the break room talking to a group of people, and he was talking with his hands. He had no idea that she was behind him, but as he was talking with his hands, he hit her on her breast. And I had no idea that it happened until we got hit with papers from her attorney. She never even said anything to us about it. She went right back to work, left work, and then went to her attorney. Now the CEO of the company decided to just offer her a settlement, and so she took, a couple G's and lost her job. But this is how these things happen. And if you're a woman, you can get away with a lot. If you're a white woman, then a lot of people, that is crazy, RB, but you'd be surprised at what I've encountered in working in HR. It seems like a lot of people have fell victim to this woman's shenanigans, whether it's all been public or not. This isn't her first shenanigans, second, third, or fourth. And because it's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's a major arcana. This means that the world is full of people like her and people like Mr. Patel who've been victims to people like Caroline Miller. So below, this woman isn't going to stop until she comes up on something lucrative from anything she can do. She's going to Karen her way into something. And this time, it seems like the universe put a stop to your bull before someone seriously suffers at this woman's hands. Four of Cups, Caroline Miller. This Cups tells me that this man didn't do anything to you or your children other than ask you for information about Tylenol and show you that he had it once he saw you again. You weren't thinking about this man. Look, the story says she crossed paths with him 3 times in the store. This is the 3 cups. She's not paying attention to this man. I'm so curious as to why she chose him and not I believe it was a white man who helped her. I believe it was a white man who helped her, but she didn't want to come for him. It was easier to do with the minority gentleman. This woman was trying to cause some sort of accident in that store by bumping into that display so that she can try to get some money. Also, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, this man's attorney is going to try to sue. He's going to try to get the money or try to get this man out on bail. And once they do that, once they get him cleared, they are going to sue everybody. I believe this man is still locked up. Again, this isn't this woman's first time. I believe her attempt was to get injured in the store, but that didn't work out. Outcome for you, Caroline Miller. Look, I mentioned the roots of this behavior needing to be dug up. Caroline Miller, you are meant to be an example. And this will be the last time that you pull a shenanigan for somebody's coin, because now you're public, you're on the radar, and everybody is exposing you and your past behaviors. This will be the last time you can pull this stunt and get away with it. And thank God, thank heavens, thank everybody. I mean, thank God, because everybody's safer. This is the energy behind it that I'm talking about. That prejudiced energy that goes back to slavery in the early days of this country. This is what I'm talking about. The shadow side that I was mentioning in her oracle card, it's right here. This is a woman who nobody is safe with her out here. She needs to be locked up. She needs to be put away. But it seems like the universe is putting a hard stop on your shenanigans by blowing up your spot. The near future, the star. Cards falling out of my hands. What just fell out? It's like you picked this man because you knew he'd be an easy target when you made an accusation against him. And the police just took you on your word, went against, made a charge, arrested him. Then they saw the footage. Because this fell out of my hand, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to release something on their part that's doctored. The star. Why is the star here? Queen of Swords here. The Fool in reverse. Her being exposed in the media. That's going to be next. This isn't going to go well for you. You're going to be a star now, Carolyn, but I don't know if it's the kind of star power that you would like. Seems like in the media, he will have a chance to defend himself, even if it's not him. Like how the Daily Mail just exposed that you've done stuff like this in the past, made accusations and been litigious against companies. The attorney is going to fight back and expose you. You're going to be exposed. This isn't going to just go away today. It'll still be a thing, even if it's to the end of the week, because there's more to the story as long as this man is being done wrong. This is an injustice. Outcome, 7 of Pentacles. Hard stop for you. The outcome for you is you being a Karen, a liar, and a dangerous woman. This is a Jezebel spirit here. This is a dangerous woman. Hard stop for you. You won't be able to do this anymore. And I don't know also if your case with the man that you accused of rape or something like that, I don't know if that's going to go well for you either. You may end up pulling out of that or trying to come to some kind of mutual agreement after all of this has casted you in a bad light. look into your past attempts for money grabs, Five of Pentacles in reverse. And then I'll wrap this up. Seems like you had a weird living situation going on at some point. No, this is the accusation about grape. You've made an attempt before. You've done this before. The case that you're still fighting, that's what you've done before. I don't believe you on that either. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, crowning you. And this is where I'm going to end this message. For so long, your brethren have put you and your kind on a pedestal. Knight of Cups. Made you out to be the epitome, the white woman, the trophy. But the Knight of Cups only gasses you up, though. He's a charmer. But that said, he's a charmer. That's his job, to charm. And it's made you so full of yourself. Do you work? What do you do? Feel like you can get away with anything and do underhanded things. This is ingrained behavior. Ingrained behavior from the people that made you this way. Killers of the dream. This tradition of white power and prejudice, but it's in reverse because now it's not so overt now that slavery is abolished. Now it's become systematic and it's gone underground. That's behind the major arcana, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And that's the message that I'm going to leave on. Also, your attempts to make false accusations about people in order to get money from them is going to lead me from Miss Caroline into Miss Gabby. Gabby is the accuser of Shannon Sharpe. Now, I'm going to see if I can find her real name. I believe they put it somewhere, but all I saw was Gabby. Shannon Sharpe, accuser. Gabriella Zuniga. Gabriella Zuniga is making headlines after filing a $50 million civil lawsuit against former NFL player and media personality Shannon Sharpe. Now, if you guys were on my live on Monday, we talked about this and I told you guys that this was a woman scorned and that the leaked tape of Omathel has something to do with why she was so upset. What I didn't know is that they had some freaky deaky stuff going on. And I do believe, all right, they had some freaky deaky stuff going on. I didn't see that part. I wasn't trying to see that. So I'm going to start with the oracles for Gabriella as well. And I'm going to read Gabriella. And I'm reading her because this is her accusation. So, hey, Swimmingly, this is her accusation. The girl is 19. Okay. I know a lot of, once these girls turn 18, they start feeling grown. This Gabriella is she. Now, this is all accusations about him aside. I'm just talking about her. Nothing to do with Shannon. This is a 19-year-old girl. I believe she's on OnlyFans. I believe she was talking about 25G a cheek or something like that, charging per cheek. So we're not talking about an innocent little young flower here. We're talking about a 19-year-old who is outside and off the porch. All right, Spirit, when it comes to Gabriella Zuniga, who is accusing Shannon Sharpe of various assaults, Spirit, from the oracles, what do the oracles have to say about this situation, about this matter for Gabriella? This isn't necessarily asking about justice just yet or truth or not. This is asking the oracles, asking the divine about how the divine, what the universe's perspective is on this matter. 25 per cheek, 19. At 19, I was in college. I was not charging 25 per cheek, and yes, she did eat that. I mean, get your money, get money, boo. Get money, bitch. But somebody was mentioning her being 19 and his age, like, so? Is she not on OnlyFans looking for clients? She don't seem like the type who has an age limit because older men have more money to spend. She don't seem like she effing with you young boys her age because y'all ain't got no coin yet. I wasn't talking about you, Jess. Somebody else was going, I think the person Echo, they kept making comments in the chat about their age difference. It's if, okay, men love when girls turn 18 so that they can hook up with them, and girls love when they turn 18 so that they can not not get men in trouble so that they can get hooked up with. So all right, let's not be green here and naive and act like all us wasn't ready to hop off the porch as soon as it was legal to do so. And as a young girl, someone who also dealt with a couple of very older men when I was very young, and I had no business dealing with them and they had no business dealing with me. It happens. Because I was so ready to be fucking grown. And I thought I knew every damn thing. I thought I could handle that situation, and I did. But all it was sex. Them men used me. I used them, and then that was it. But that's not to say that that's something that I should have been doing as a young lady who should have been valuing herself more than that. Fortunately, my my husband swooped in and was just like, nah, I'm gonna get you off the streets before you make any bad decisions. But no, somebody else valued me more than I valued myself at that time because I was dealing 17, 18, dealing with a 40-year-old man. Sure was. And he had no problem sneaking around in the late night hours so that people who knew him wouldn't clock him riding around with my young ass. Yeah, I never dated a boy my age either, JD. Mm-mm. I never even had a serious boyfriend through high school. My first serious boyfriend turned into my husband. Everybody else was a good time, not a long time. I was not a lover girl. I wasn't booed up in high school, didn't go to prom because I was 18 as a senior. And so I went to the club while everybody else was at prom. I was at the club with my cousins. Cuz I was too grown for that. I thought I was too grown for that bullshit. And you're right, RB, cougars do go for younger men because all my family, the majority of my family are women. And I'm one of the very few women in my family that like older men or men my age or older. All the other women in my family love younger men. My mama's, I don't think she ever, I think the last man that was older than my mama was my daddy. All her other boyfriends was a little younger than her. All my aunties got younger men. All of them. And my grandmother, in her old age, sat all her daughters down and her granddaughters, and she said, y'all make sure y'all don't marry no man that's significantly older than y'all. My grandfather was 12 years older than her, and she said because we get older, at least the women in our family, we get older and our sex drive increases. I don't know if that's for all women, maybe, but we get older and our sex drive increases. And we probably all already kind of have a high sex drive anyways. We're a bunch of spiritually inclined people in this family. Um, so she always said the sex drive, and she was 74 when she said this. She said their sex drive dies out faster than ours, especially if they're significantly older. So she was like, so you gonna be looking dumb when your husband can't please you and you still be gassed up and ready to go. So she told them, don't marry older men, and they said, say less. They said, say less. They all, and my cousins my age, they all be like, girl, you just need to get you a little young YN to play with, girl. Don't be serious about them, girl. Just get a little YN and knock you down, girl. You'll never be doing that. And I be like, no, 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 I can't. I don't want no headaches. Anyways, so this isn't to make excuses for Shannon or Miss Gabriella. I'm just explaining to the one person echo that was in my chat, and I did see all of your message about their age difference, but I'm not in the belief that Shannon Sharpe preyed on this young, tender girl who was just sitting there eating her grapes and Cheerios on her way to college. All right. Oracles, when it comes to this matter with Gabriella Zuniga, I would like a message for her from the divine. If Gabriella was sitting in front of me and she said, can you please give me a message from the divine? Oracles, spirits, what message would you deliver to Gabriella Zuniga? So I was dealing with the last person I dealt with. He was 46, going on 47. And while his package was, sure, he wasn't a bad package, he didn't have no stamina. He got tired so quick, and one round and he was good. You know, one round he want to roll over and go to sleep, and that's a pregame for me. So I knew that our situation wasn't going to last long because I knew it wasn't going to benefit me. It was only benefiting him. He was reaching the destination faster. He was getting there before me. And there was no courtesy to wait for me. And he was tired. I had to do all the work. He literally was a pillow princess. He just wanted to lay there. And I usually like that when I want to do it, not when you want me to do it because you're lazy or out of shape. That takes away the power in being on top for me, so I don't want to do it then. All right, oracles. So I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm attracted to older men. I'm attracted to intellect, actually, maturity. And I've recently found out that being older does not ensure an emotional intelligence. And so I'm attracted to energy, and it's hard to find for me. It's hard to find. Good energy is hard to find. All right. Oracles for Gabriella. What message would the divine have for her? Just to see. I don't know where this is going either way. I'm not going to judge her. JD, that's fine. But for me, I can't have a man that's a pillow princess because I don't mind being the dominant one. but I like to do so for the power, to prove a point. I like to dominate. Once I've proven a point, then I need you to dance. I need this to be a dance. I need this to be a dance. And I like equal power. Probably an alpha. I like alphas. I like to. It's like two lions. The female lion, I mean the lioness and the male lion. That's kind of the energy I am. I only submit after you make me respect you and after I've proven my point that I deserve equal respect in this situation. It's all about respect for me. But no, I can't deal with no pillow princess man because I can't respect you. I can't respect it. I'm looking down at you, and it's one thing if I know that I'm taking the life out of you and you don't want to give it to me. But when you're there just giving me your soul on a platter and you're just like, oh yes, just laying there letting me do all the work because you out of shape, tired, your back hurt, all this other stuff, then I'm looking down, judging you and calculating when this is going to be over. And it's never going to happen again. And I'm going to let you know that it's probably never going to happen again on my way out of the door. While you're laying there wanting to spoon me, I'm going to hurt your feelings. So I can't have pillow princesses because of the energy. I'm only submissive after I dominate. And after I see that you can go toe to toe, then I'm like, okay, all right, touche, bitch. Touche. Yeah, it's a fair exchange. But no, don't just be laying there like, ooh, 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 take me to the moon, bitch. No, how am I going to enjoy that? How am I going to enjoy you being a man and I'm rocking your world and you let me fight back, bitch? How did we even get on this topic? Fight back. Did you impeach the bitch? Oh, goodness. Well, get your ass out of here. All right. Confidence is your key to success. When I read her the other day, yes, I am going to think that you are not fully in your divine masculine because don't just lay there. Where's your ego? Where's your pride? Most men, once you start getting the upper hand on them and they start feeling a little too feminine, they gonna want to, all right. Then they gonna want to toss you up, toss you around, wham, wham, wham. But no, if the whole time you just, oh, and then you done and you want to cuddle with me and go to sleep, and that was just my warm up, and that lets me know that you done bitch, get out. Get your shit and get out. Might be your house, but get out. Just get out. Do you deserve to pay bills here? You probably need help, don't you? You probably need Big Mama, don't you? You don't get put out your own shit. Bitch, get your shit and get out, okay? Oh. And then let's cuddle and go to sleep. Bitch, sleep. All right. Confidence is your key to success. When I read and asked the other day if she was telling the truth, I got the Queen of Wands in reverse. That's a fire sign on a rampage. Yep. Get your shit and get out. At least give me a moment to collect my thoughts. Just get out for a second so I can collect my thoughts because bitch, you tried me. I thought you was a real man. I feel catfished. So give me some space for a second. Can't play nothing with a man like that, like my ex-husband. I came out fully dominatrix. I'm talking about Gabby style. Latex leather, a full mask, a whip. Now, that was my first time with a whip, and I'm not a whip girl, but I always wanted to beat a bitch. But he was looking at me like, this bitch is Jeffrey Dahmer. pretty sure this bitch is Jeffrey Dahmer. And then the last guy, well, the African guy, I tried to go easy because I'm like, all right, he's African. They don't be doing this. They don't be doing the shit. They don't be doing crazy shit over there. So I just got a swing. My swing, because this is my swing. And he was, he was, so I brought it. And then I was just like, look what I brought. And he just was like analyzing it because he was an engineer. So in his mind, he was looking at the thing, probably trying to figure out how it was working, then looking at me, and then probably trying to analyze and do the math on, all right, what the fuck did I just get myself into? But I was like, no, it's harmless. Listen, you just put it here on the door, and then I get into it like this, and then and we just used it for like a few seconds, but I think that he couldn't compute the shit that I was on. It was just like, for one, she's so attractive because he thought I was so beautiful. And then he was just like, and then she's here in this contraption hanging from my door, telling me to do this to her. It was like a mindful. It was just too much. It was too much. And we didn't really get a chance to use it because I end up having to take it down and just do regular stuff. I just have to do regular stuff with the boys. I'm not trying to prove nothing to nobody, Vaughn. So if you're trying to call my bluff, that don't work on me because even with all of this energy that I give, I'm very inactive, very few and far between. So I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. This is my problem. I am the Dom, and this is my problem. This is why I don't have no love life. This is a woman scorned. We are. That is very true because it's a certain amount of energy that we have, that we exude. But yes, very, very, very much, very, very, very much. And yes, I do know how to transmute the energy. Right, Vaughn, think you so slick. You do know I ain't 21. I'm in my late 30s now. I ain't new to this. All right. Confidence is your key to success. I also feel like Gabby would love to expose this man. Just because this is a big masculine Leo card. You see the Leo, full moon in Leo. Confidence, the lion. Remember the energy I was just talking about? I said I need a lion because I'm a lioness. Upright, this would be what I would need. And reversed, fragile masculinity. Maybe she knows what he's really into. And it's like the audacity. I ain't gonna hate on Vaughn for trying it, but because, hey, everybody, shoot your shot. I'm gonna block it. But hey, I'll never get mad at a player for playing the game and trying to shoot their shot now. I don't hate the player. I don't hate the game either. That's why I block like Mutombo. I just block like Mutombo. All right. Step out of your comfort zone and reverse. Confidence is the key to success and reverse. She is on the tip of her tongue. She this close to saying, N-word, that's why you're gay anyways. It's on the tip of her tongue. Oh, it's on the tip of her tongue. If this situation continues to get messy, she's going to expose his real tea. Ooh, and a fiery climax approaches is upright. When I asked the oracles what they say about this Gabby girl, the spirits say, it's on that sugar. They ain't got no dog in this fight, at least not the spirits that are consulting with me. This energy gives me, she got the tools and the gags, and she has done a few things on him that will probably maybe be able to let her say, boy, You know, boy, don't play with me when I've been playing with your booty. Because that's something I would say. If I was in that situation, if I was the kind of girl that would end up in that situation, boy, don't play with me when I play with your bunkie. That would be the first thing out of my mouth when I hit the net. I wouldn't even give him a chance to be able to rebut. I'm not arguing about none of the threats that you said because I ain't worried about that. I'm not worried about you coming and putting your motherfucking hands on me that way. The only time you put your hands on me is when I tell you to. The only time that motherfucker put his hands on her is when she tell him to. So I wouldn't be worried about you hurting me. As soon as I came to the motherfucking blogs, the first thing that would have said was, bitch, you better run me my motherfucking 50 mil before I tell everybody about the real you. Before I tell everybody about how you like me to put my finger and my strap. How you like me to put my fingers and your strap. How would you like me to tell them about the three-way we had with your stylist Hollywood? That would be me. I would be the Cassie in the situation. Just run the mills. Tell me how bad you want your tea to stay tea. If you go extortionist, then extortionist. Yes. Fist and elbow. I bet he take the whole. I'm just saying. This ain't over with these two, obviously, because he's a sassy queen and she's a sassy queen. You got a black woman fighting a white woman. This is bound to get messy. And the spirits are here for it. Usually I might get a message like, you wrong, she wrong, everybody wrong. No, this message just tells me, and to be honest, if I'm honest with the energy these cards give me, with the confidence is your key to success in reverse, step out of your comfort zone in reverse, a fiery climax is upright, that tells me because you do so much to stay in your comfort zone, sir, to not step out of your comfort zone, you was bound to end up in some messy shit with a woman or one of your other lovers. You was bound to get caught up in some messy shit when your sexual life is messy shit. And all gay stuff to the side, your dealings with this woman, this OnlyFans 19-year-old young white girl. She's young, she's white, and she seems to be a prostitute and a toot. 3 red flags that you whipped up in a pot and made a recipe for a disaster. And you wouldn't be in this situation with OnlyFans models, escorts, and prostitutes who fulfill kinks and keep secrets, unlike other women who are looking to date you. Typically, they don't usually get into the kinks, which is why you seem to date a certain type of woman who are into kinks, or women who charge you for sex because they put a price on it. They'll do whatever, and they don't judge you, and they don't tell your secrets unless you get them wrong. You must have got her wrong some way. But you seem to not be a relationship man. You like prostitutes. You like women prostitutes. You like paying for the cat, and it's fine. It ain't tricking if you got it, but you don't balance it out with any relationships in between, which even more so gives off that you're closeted. Step out of your comfort zone is in reverse. Confidence is your key to success is in reverse. Not confident to step out of your comfort zone. Not confident in your full masculinity. You are always bound to end up in this situation because you're a rich black man who has kinks and likes prostitutes. So you are prime for extortion. And if I was your escort, The only thing that can make me ruin my bag with you is if you try to stop dealing with me, especially if we've been dealing with each other for a few years. And I think that you guys dealt with each other multiple times over what, a year or two? She got used to that money. The only thing that would make her want to expose you is if you cut her off, is if you stop dealing with her. Now, true enough, you did this thing with Michelle, and she could have been like, oh, you cut me off because you got another dom. So now I'm going to expose you. That could be it. But you were bound to get into this situation, Shannon, because you end up with these type of women because it seems like you don't want to step out of your comfort zone. And I'm just putting 2 and 1 together to make 3. That's it. I asked for a message from the oracles from her, but the message was about Shannon. There's no judgment for her because a hoe does what a hoe does. So this is on par for her. This is hoe behavior. Run me my coin or I'm going to run it. That's hoe behavior. You should know better than this. You ain't new to being rich, wealthy, and famous. So you should know better than this. But the lengths you go through, Shannon Sharpe, I believe, to hide from yourself. Nevertheless, this is a reading on Gabriella, so I won't read you too much, Shannon. All right, Spirit. Please allow me to conjure up the spirit, the soul, and the collective energy of Gabriella Zuniga. And since I'm on one today in the energy of the divine feminine, on live tonight, I'm talking to the Pope. As an oracle myself, who operates in the office of the prophetess and oracle and all of that, like the OGs that the Vatican stole their seat to, their seat of power, I have something to say to the Pope. I'm curious. I would like to see his soul face to face. I have some questions and concerns for myself. This should be a very interesting conversation between the Pope, a representative of the Vatican who absolutely stole the seat of the Sibylline prophetesses and priestesses. The oracles. The oracles. Not the Greek ones. All right. So that's who we're conjuring up tonight, the Pope. And I'm really excited about it. I got a fresh bag of marijuana to smoke afterwards. Ooh, I'm so excited. What did Tony say? All right. You ever get my tongue slapped like that? Yeah. You ever got stuck in a dream where you couldn't get out? Felt like you were dying? You know, you can make people do that for fun. There's a way that you could do that. Trap somebody in their dream. All you gotta do is trick them. All you gotta do is show up in their dream and trick them. Show up like a sexy woman in a man's dream and trick them. Oh, you don't know how to show up in people's dreams? Well, then don't worry about my tongue, honey. Not Caroline. I'm not calling Caroline. Gabriella Zuniga. Spirit, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Gabriella Zuniga. Gabriella, you're giving Karen energy. You one of them Latinas that identify as white. White. Are you one of those? Absolutely in the dreams. I did that to a client. The attorney, the lady whose landlord was trying to put all the tenants out. Before I knew the landlord's name, I only knew the attorney's name. So I worked him first. And then when I read him the next day, I saw me sitting right in his crown chakra, and instantly his whole spirit towards the situation was different. I said, oh. And I had a dream that I was hovering over him in his sleep, whispering in his ear. That court case that I posted on my page, I just showed up. I just showed up in their sleep and told them what the fuck to do. That's how I did it. Gabriella Zuniga, you have a situation with Shannon Sharpe currently. You're making accusations against him. You seem to be in fear of him because of the threats he's made. He's assaulted you, threatened you, and all of these things. Tell me about your situation with Shannon Sharpe from your soul's perspective. Keep nothing hidden from me. Something tells me you lie. Keep absolutely nothing hidden from me, and talk to me about your situation with Shannon Sharpe. Gabriella Zuniga. I believe he stopped dealing with her, stopped paying her, or something. First and foremost, because that's the first card out. And so first off, there's a coin that's missing that used to be given. Because it's the Ace of Coin. This lets me know that they had a hookup situationship. He would pop up when he needed her services, offered to pay. This wasn't like a consistent relationship they were in. It wasn't his girlfriend. He didn't owe her anything. It's the Ace of Pentacles, so there's nothing invested here other than what I'm giving you now. However, that flipped upside down, and that further proves my point or my belief that the only thing that could have made her expose him like this or made her upset with him like this is if she was no longer benefiting from him being the client anymore. Challenging is how to make these litigious situations, these litigious accusations against him stick in some way where she can get something from him. Fuck it. If you're not going to deal with me no more because you start dealing with other people and you no longer need my services, and I've been banking on that money. I've been banking on the money I've been getting from you. So now I need a lump sum to, make up for what I won't be getting from you in the future. Trying to find a way to make some accusations against him stick is the challenge. This feels desperate. Feels like I'll pull everything out of my black bag until something sticks. Either sticks legally or sticks to you enough for you to settle. But Sassy Shannon ain't settling because that man, from his energy, he doesn't feel like he did anything that she's accusing him of. And I know some tapes were released, but I don't know what the context of that was. They got a freaky relationship. I don't know what was said before that. I don't know if that's how they like to talk to each other. I think in the past, Shannon might have no longer utilized her services. I think maybe she didn't know, though. Maybe in this situation, he was her go-to. She was his go-to. I think Shannon ended up in a relationship with someone and stopped utilizing her services or something like that. Sometime in the past, Shannon broke up with someone and it affected the situation with him and Gabby. He could have been using her as a rebound and then stopped dealing with her once he got on, got more money, and got access to better services. Gabby, you are going to be a thorn in this man's side in the near future, at least for the rest of the week. The two of you will be going back and forth. Your plan in the upright, launching your lawsuit, will face some challenges because Shannon Sharpe is fighting back. That's why the Three of Wands is in reverse. You devised a plan, you move forward with it. This is kind of how you've been expecting it to go. But Shannon Sharpe is going to fight you. And it seems like you were young enough to think that he would do the Diddy and Cassie you, just cash you out. Girl. And that is where your youth effed you up. Cassie had to play her cards right for years before she could strike at the right time. You too green, too new to the game to be pulling these stunts. You shot too quickly. What you should have done, never mind. I'm not going to say that while this girl is currently trying to bury this man, because this is a black man. And I won't help. I won't help this lady take him down. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. She'll have to do that on her own. This is the audio recordings that she has and that she has had. She was recording with the sole intent and purpose of recording him saying something useful. This is a plan. This card in her crowning position tells me that she was surveilling him, doing surveillance and collecting evidence, wiretaps and phone conversations, and leading conversations and leading him into conversations and then pressing record when the conversation went the way she wanted it to go. Calling at the right time, recording at the right time. That's what this card is. On her crown, on her mind, in her head. The Empress reversed. First of all, you're not savvy enough to pull this off. And I do think that out of however many escorts that he was dealing with, you got cut off. And so below, I do believe that you have tea about how he really feels about women or men. I'm thinking your surveillance or the things that you could say, I think that you could expose what he doesn't want to expose, or you can fuel the flames around the conversations of his sexuality if you want to. Tricks, I'll give it to you. They know men. Tricks know men. They know all the various types of men. And even though she's a young trick, she knows a man that deals with tricks because they have something to hide. $50 million is what I want. Did someone else send her Shannon's way? Fun fact that you asked that sweet nerd girl, because that's the tea, that's the advice that I said I wasn't going to give publicly. If he didn't want to mess with me no more, I would have said cool. But I would have, because she had surveillance from him, I'd have kept it. Then I'd have sent one of my bad bitches, one of the girls that I know that are older, that I know he would probably be attracted to, since I know why he's not attracted to me. And I'd have sent her in there on him and had her finish the job that I couldn't do. And together, we would have devised a scheme and a plot. Because she did try the Cassie thing. She tried to get the 10 million out of him first. Ten of Pentacles. That's the amount that she originally tried to get. He said no. So then she did like Cassie and then tried to expose him and get the big kahuna. 50 mil for her, 30 for Cassie. That's the 10 mil that she went after originally. Girl. And here's Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is looking at all the tea that they've been exposing about him, looking at the offer that they want him to accept, and he's saying, fuck y'all. Fuck all that. I'm taking her motherfucking ass to court. And I'm suing for defamation and anything else I can sue her ass for. Because I'm a successful black man, and Tony Busby and these type of women is coming after successful black men. So fuck what you heard, fuck what they said, and fuck what they want. Arms crossed, legs crossed. I ain't giving her a motherfucking dime, except for court fees. Here she is again. Remember on Monday, I asked if she was telling the truth. This was the first card out. Here she is in her hopes and fears. A woman scorned. A woman scorned. Knight of Wands in reverse. Not so fast, Gabby. Hot tamale. From the Queen of Wands reverse to the Knight of Wands reverse after the hiccup. The Three of Wands reverse. You too young to play this game, honey. Too young and inexperienced. You ain't do this right. You could have done this, but you ain't do it right. Outcome. I think you're going to end up looking like a woman who was after his money. As you do now, at least as he's saying, I believe that that is going to be something that might stick with you, or it might hook you. In his defense, he will deliver some sort of blow that takes you from this queen in reverse to the knight in reverse. I believe that the story about Tony Busby coaching you into this is going to stick. The outcome, you're not going to get what you want from Shannon Sharpe, Gabriella. You seem to suffer from the same syndrome that Miss Caroline Miller did. The only difference is Caroline seems to feel entitled. When she sees fit. You seem to be entitled to access to this big trick's money. This might have been the biggest trick that you've ever dealt with, I'm pretty sure, because you're 19. I think Shannon might have been your biggest trick. I think losing him hit and it hurt. I've seen you. I don't know if you are a popular prostitute, but I wouldn't pay a pretty penny for you. I definitely wouldn't. So I think you're upset about that. I think you're upset about losing your biggest trick, especially when he is coming up on a lot of money. And I think you spazzed out. I think you hooked up with Tony Busby and you guys wanted to run down on a bitch twice. Um, and it's not gonna go well for you. It's not gonna go the Diddy and Cassie route for you. I'll say that, honey. All right, now finally, before I head on out, because I'm gonna hop on over to my members live so that we can talk to the spirit of the Pope. I know the white delegation was red in the neck and behind the ears with me for coming for two of their own, 1.5. And I didn't feel like I was coming for those ladies. Except for Carolyn, I knew I was coming for her because it was already proven that she lied. I wasn't coming for Gabriella, and in fact, the spirits weren't either. The spirits had to just say, well, he ended up in this situation and this is what it is. And in this climate, he should know better. At his age, he should know better. If both of you are considered adults only by legal means, Shannon, you're the full-blown adult, even in biological means. So you shouldn't have been dealing with this girl. I'm sure there are other prostitutes and toots that provide similar services, but you like them young and naive and for pay, because that'll really cover all of your secrets and all of that. Because when they're young, they just gonna be so happy to have you and have access to you that they're never gonna try to expose you, and they're in fear that you'll blackball them in the whole industry. But this one said, no, this is a different era, this is a different age, and I'm Gen, whatever Gen I am, and we do things different, recklessly, but different. Gabriella, that's an old school player. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Why do you keep creating pages asking me that? Because I ignored you before. You must have got blocked and then came back and created another page. Why would you ask me who I vote for? Why do you care? I'm curious when you guys ask questions like that. Makes me curious about the type of troll you are. All right. Aisha Howard. Let's chat about her. Aisha Howard is a black woman for the white delegation who's like, can you please get off our necks? Oh, shit ain't sweet, is it? But anyways, Aisha Howard, I believe, also is a baby mama of, who she got a baby by? Lil Baby. She got a baby by Lil Baby, Big Baby, The Baby. Who her baby daddy? She already got a baby daddy besides Anthony Edwards. I only know her because of the situation she's going through, and I wanted to talk about it because I want to talk about a point that I wanted to make to women today. The divine feminine has been dealing with me, and especially since we'll be talking to the Pope today, Lil Baby. We'll be talking to the Pope today, and I'm coming from the perspective of one of the, a seer, an oracle, a prophetess, so to speak. So Anthony Edwards is a basketball player. Aisha Howard is a woman who has a baby by the rapper Lil Baby, but just recently birthed a baby by Anthony Edwards. Now I'm reading this because it's been all over the blogs, because Ayesha is attempting to establish paternity and child support with Anthony Edwards. However, Anthony Edwards, upon finding out that Ayesha was pregnant, let her know when he found out she was pregnant, he didn't want the baby. I believe he sent her money to get an abortion. I believe she kept it. I believe she kept the money and kept the baby. He stated all throughout her pregnancy he wanted nothing to do with this baby or her. She continued to have the baby, moved to California where this man lives, I believe. Maybe, maybe not. Moved to California and attempted to file some sort of child support or custody in California. But her residence when she was pregnant was Georgia. So they told her, no, go do it in Georgia. And they're currently fighting each other. I think he's attempted to just pay a big lump sum of child support. She may be trying to fight that as well. She wants the baby to have his last name. She wants the baby to be fully acknowledged and supported by a man who at the beginning and all throughout her pregnancy was very consistent in saying, I don't want it. Get the abortion. And so she's currently fighting him for money and child support. And in the vein of the two women that I just read, I thought this was a good way to round it all out. Because Caroline accused a man of trying to kidnap her child, and that was a lie. Ayesha is attempting to establish paternity and child support with a man who stated he would rather pay for an abortion than have anything to do with her or her child. And then we had a child, Gabriella Zuniga, shaking down Shannon Sharpe, which is why I titled this topic today, is it for the children or is it for the money? I'm curious. So I'm going to start with the oracles for her too. My spirit feels like reading all the ladies, reading them from the oracles first. Woman to woman, feminine to feminine. Most High Mother and Father God, when it comes to Aisha Howard, who just birthed a child with Anthony Edwards and is fighting him for him to establish paternity and child support with the child that this man said that he didn't want, even though he did participate in the creation of the child. Afterwards, he stated he wanted nothing to do with either of them, supported her having an abortion. She made a choice to keep it and now wants to hold him responsible for his portion of the child care. Spirit, what do you have to say in the matter of Aisha Howard? Speaking to Aisha Howard as if she was a client of mine and in front of me, what message would you have for her in this matter with her child's father, Anthony Edwards? Look at the bigger picture. Full moon Sagittarius, interesting. Step out of your comfort zone is in reverse for you too, Aisha, honey. Hold your vision in reverse. Balance spirituality and practicality. I see you doing weird stuff. I don't know if you dabble spiritually in trying to attract men, possibly. I don't know if you do any type of juju to try to get wealthy, rich lovers, suitors, tricks, whatever. And I also think with this card, if it's not juju, it's the natural juju that women do of entrapment. Because witchcraft is doing something against someone's free will. It's bending their free will. Now, a man does have free will to go inside of a woman's vagina with no protection. A man also has free will to say, hey, I know that we did this with no protection, but in these days of 2025, there are so many means to take care of it. And it's like a thing now. Everybody does it. Plan Bs, they get popped like M&Ms, you know. I see it so prevalent these days. Like getting rid of the problem, the baby, is not that much of an issue to today's prevalent generations. And so when this man asserted his will to say, okay, well, I choose not to participate, and I will even support an abortion, at that point, he kicked the ball in the woman's court because he's saying, I'm not going to stick around. I don't want you to have this baby. I may have helped you create it, but I also have a say so in wanting to destroy it. As the co creator and the more responsible of the two, because she has to nurture and carry and see that child through as its mother. She's biologically made to be the primary caregiver of that child. The man is only made to help make it. They call the woman the helpmeet, but the man is the helpmeet. He's only there, he only has a phallus to help make the baby. The woman has a womb, breast, and a body that's genetically modified and made up to be the sole primary custodial responsible party of that baby. I talked about this before, the burden of responsibility being on the more powerful party, which is us. How do you think these men get here? Through our bodies. So I don't get the idea of wanting to embrace your feminine power, but also wanting to submit it, check it in to someone that is not superior to you, a man. That's where the chaos comes in. Because women are powerful. That's why we can force a man to have a baby. He can only help create it, but we can force him to have it. That lets us know who's the more powerful of the two. He can only help create it. Then he can walk away and he can never know if it comes into fruition. You, though, as the woman, he can say, I don't want it. You can force him to have it by giving birth to it. I don't agree with checking in this power that you wield when it's convenient, when you don't want to take accountability. And neither do the spirits. That's why I look at the bigger picture is here. And balance your spirituality and practicality. Sex is a spiritual matter. And creating a baby is probably the most magical act one can do. Creating a baby. Because two people got together and then did alchemy with their bodies and created a living human being with its own soul. That is magic. That a man and a woman comes and does together. The woman, though, she's fertile. She just needs a man to give her a seed, give her the big bang that they said created the universe. Give her that big bang of impact, and then the woman takes it from there. She takes it from there. That's why it's witchcraft, to trap someone. Because you're forcing their free will. Look at the bigger picture, though. You just brought a baby in here and some bullshit. And that's not fair. Gotta be wiser than this. All right. I don't even want, if you know he doesn't want the baby, his actions beforehand show you that he wasn't father material. These lie in your face. Absolutely, Vaughn. And this is why I brought this up, because I wanted to have that conversation with women today. And I want to round it out with the message to women about who we are, the power that we wield, and how we have been taught through patriarchal society to be chaos. We've been taught to be chaos because patriarchy is chaos. How can a man rule a society it didn't create? It didn't birth. You can rule the houses, you can rule the businesses, you can rule the money, but the people and the earth, they belong to the Divine Mother. How can patriarchy create balance or peace when it is already imbalanced? I need women to understand that we are more accountable, more responsible for a lot that goes on in the world and in society. That's just the hard truth of it all. We raise children and then blame when they turn out bad on their absence of a father or whatever their father did wrong, even though you're the one who poured into them. So the child may acquire abandonment issues from a lack of father, but what about what you taught them? What about what they witnessed and consumed by growing up with you and watching you, observing you, consuming your emotions and your energy every month when you're upset, as women tend to be? Think what you want to think about marriage and how valuable you feel like it is, but let's try to be more responsible when it comes to creating families or lives. And ladies, the accountability is heavily on us first. Not saying just us, but it starts with us. Because so does the life that we bring into the world. It all starts with us. We see a man, we like him, we let him inside our bodies. We determine if he's going to go in raw or not. Not he. He doesn't determine that. He can suggest. We make the final decision. No, we're not going to do this unless, birth control, condoms or whatever. Or, yeah, come shoot the club up. We do that though, unless it's grape. Your mother was right, Vaughn. We even choose the men that we say are horrible fathers. Of course, we don't know what kind of fathers they'll be, but that's why it's good to know thyself before one goes creating other people. Because what if you're just passing down toxicity and then they go and create these check babies? I want to look at why. Look at the bigger picture. What's the main message for her? Because I think speaking to the oracles, divine women, divine feminine spirits, they're not going to shoo and bullshit around a message concerning a mother trying to force paternity on a man who told you he didn't want it. At that point, when you chose to continue having this baby, you should have told yourself, all right, my body, my choice, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to give this baby the life that I want it to have. Instead of trying to drag a man through the courts for his money, who told you? But you're creating a life that's going to grow up and then contribute whatever you gave or put into it to the society, to the rest of the world. It's just a little thing, you know, have a baby. It's nothing. Get a check, have a baby, whatever, whatever. I wonder what kind of lifestyle, what quality of life these check babies actually have. And I'm not talking about with the absent fathers. I'm talking about with the mothers who raised them, who birthed them for checks. I wonder the quality of life they get behind the scenes, behind closed doors. Why is look at the bigger picture here as a message for Ayesha? And I'm going to wrap this up in about 4 minutes so I can switch over to my members live. But I just want to see, why is look at the bigger picture here for Ayesha? And sure, maybe another day I'll call up the divine masculine and start talking about them. So ladies, I know we all humans love to say, yeah, but what about this, and this? Let's just stay focused for right now. Look at the bigger picture. Why is that a message here for Aisha Howard? First of all, Aisha. All right. Look. This is what you got first of all, off rip. A man who had no emotion, nothing nice, nothing romantic to offer you, didn't even want you to keep his sperm in the chalice. Pour it out. What you wanted on the bottom, though, was a King of Pentacles. Am I lying? Are you now trying to drag him through the courts for this? 2 kings here. This one is the one you got. This is what you want, though. Look at the bigger picture. This is what you got up front. The spirits have no sympathy. Your first card out was look at the bigger picture. That's a command. It's not implying it. Bitch, look at the bigger picture. And Sagittarius is all about justice, righteousness, morality, the courts. I don't know if you'll be successful in milking him for that King of Pentacles, because there is tons and tons and tons of documented evidence that he had nothing for you, wanted nothing from you. The King of Cups is who you got off rip, and you still didn't think enough about how this type of man would impact the quality of life for your child, more so than what you could get from him. This is about you, not even how it's going to impact your baby. And I'm a little bit disgusted because I'm thinking about the life here. It's a life now. It has to live. It has to grow. It has to thrive. It has to be healthy, emotionally, mentally, physically. You wonder why they call you. I'm not trying to judge, but this is what you got in the beginning. I see a misuse of the courts here and a misuse of the system. This man should have known better. And he knows that. He knows he should have known better, which is why he's just going to go ahead. He's trying to get up off the tree, off the sacrificial tree, and just pay her a lump sum to get out of this. Because it's very clear that she's trying to milk him through the courts. He would rather, all right, she chose to have the baby, fine. Take this coin and go away. You also need to stop doing juju and trying to trap people in various means, through sex, through spirituality and stuff. You need to cut that out. Good luck to you, though. Good luck to that baby. I pray that your spirit change sometime between now and in the near future. I pray that your main priority be the health and well-being of that life that you've now become responsible of nurturing. Okay, well, that was today's messages. I am going to head on over to my members channel, and I will see you guys on Friday. Love you. Bye.